think we have not yet connected. Are we live? Huh? No. Because here it is not showing. Yes, we are live. Yeah. Hello, students. Very good morning to you all. Thanks a lot for taking time out for attending this session. I'll keep it very short, sweet, and simple. Like they say that it is, I'll keep it like a beautiful kiss. Keep it simple and short. Okay. So I'll not take your time. But before I start, I wish you all a very happy Pongal and happy Makar Sankranti. God bless you all with success, and I hope this attempt which you are giving will be the last attempt for say intermediate examination, and you will be finally a finalist. Okay, so yeah, what I have done is I have reviewed the last two attempt question papers, your May examination question paper. So I'll not waste any time and I'll come straight to the point. I have reviewed both the question paper of last two examinations, and I have seen what are the different topics which has been asked in the previous examinations, and as per me what is the expectation which I have for this examination. So first 15 to 20 minutes maybe I'll tell you those points which from my side is most important, meaning these are the topics which you should compulsory do, and then maybe if possible, or if you guys also have some time, I will go through the entire syllabus and I'll just tell, okay, these are the important points which you can concentrate on. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, so now before I start, let me tell you a small story. Now this story is what my grandmother used to tell. Okay, so so my grandmother, she's not an educated lady, but still there are some beautiful stories which they have, or beautiful life experience which they have, which they share with us, but which makes us feel that, oh my god, how can this lady who has not even seen the face of school can say such beautiful things. See, I being a chartered accountant, I only don't have that I mean that thought which they have, or the way they see the life, the experience which they have. I even after being so educated, I don't know, or I have not come across all those things. Now so when she was very young, she got married when she was very young, of course, and when she was very young, she had they were working that time. So basically she was not from a very good family. So during the at that time, so she was born in 1945, and maybe when she was around maybe 15-20 years old, they were all working at one particular place. When they were working at one particular place, what used to happen was, so there were around 20 people who used to work in a single area. So like I mean, I'll not be able to explain you what type of work it is. They normally, in the village side, there is a practice of there is a scheme of government called as Manrega. You will be knowing if you have studied that in economics. So what they do is they have a practice of digging this the land region so that they can make a small pond. So whenever the rain, whenever it is going to rain, that pond will fill, and that water will be used by those village people for agriculture, etc. So when she was very young in her life, when she was doing this work, she came across I mean, there will be places allotted. She came across a stone when she was digging. Normally, that region where they do this activity, stones will not be there. But she came across a stone. And when they started digging the nearby area, it was found that the stone is very big. The stone which was there, no, it was very big. Now, there were almost 20 people working at a time, and they found that the stone is very, very big. They have digged all the nearby areas, and during that time they did not have any proper machineries, or they did not have any proper equipments by which, or like drilling equipments by which they could break the stone. So those people, all those people together, they started hitting the stone. All those people together, with all their efforts, they started hitting the stone, which included my grandmother also. So my grandmother said that almost they have tried for maybe say 99 times. They have tried hitting that stone consistently. They were doing on daily basis, continuously on from last 7 to 10 days. They did this activity daily. They used to come at 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. They used to do this activity, but still this stone did not break down into smaller pieces so that it can be carried out. I mean, there was not even a single crack in the stone. So all these people were very disappointed that even after putting so much efforts, even after so many people involving in this particular process, this stone is so strong that it is not actually breaking at all. But then that time, for those people, they did not have any person who would say that no, you, because it was a process, it was a place where they will work and they are going to earn something. So that time, no, they did not have any other way to go, so they had to break it. So my grandmother says that the 100th time when they hit that stone broke into half, and this time they all put the same effort, and at a time they hit the stone, and that stone broke into half. Now what I'm trying to say over here is, for you guys also, that stone is your examination. That stone which my grandmother was talking about is your examination. Whatever hard work you have put till right now is the 99 times hitting that stone, and it shows no result. You have studied on daily basis, you have revised on daily basis, you have practiced questions on daily basis, you have a lot of sleepless night which you have given on daily basis. But these things which you have, no, that would have made you feel that, oh my god, where am I heading to? I'm not confident at all. Trust me, whatever you have done is best, and whatever has happened till now with you is also the best. Now hit this one last time. Tomorrow, the paper which is going to come, this is that one last attempt, wherein one last effort we are going to put, that 3 hours of effort which you are going to give in that examination hall, no, that will make your result a very positive one. So don't worry, your sleepless nights will be taken care of, your hard work will be taken care of, the practices which you have done, the number of questions which you have solved, the consistently what you have done for maybe last 4 to 5 to 6 months, etc., all that will be taken care of by this examination. Only thing which you have to do is make sure that you sit in the exam hall continuously for 3 hours. Irrespective of what it is, you sit in the examination hall and you constantly write whatever obviously you should write the answers only. So whatever to the best knowledge which you have gained during all this 6 months period, make sure you utilize that and give the answers. Now with this, let me straight away discuss what is important for your taxation examination. Now, as I said, I have analyzed the previous 2 examinations and I have come into conclusion with respect to whatever I'm going to say. Now please note, the taxation paper is a complete different paper when compared to the other questions or the other subjects which you have. Why, sir, taxation is completely different? Because now January examination which you are writing, okay, this is the last attempt for income tax students. And for you guys, the Finance Act 2013 was applicable. So in income tax law, from next year onwards or from next attempt onwards, that is from May 25, September 25 and your January 26, the previous year and assessment year is going to change. For you, the previous year will be 24-25 and assessment year will be 25 and 26. And trust me, the law is completely changed. I would not be surprised to say you that income tax law around your 50% of syllabus is changed. 50% of syllabus is changed when compared to what you are studying right now. So you are supposed to give your 100% when it comes to writing the examination. Whatever you have done till now, obviously it cannot be changed, and the timings are big, and the time has also passed away. Nothing can be done right now. What is the best possible thing which you can do right now is that 3 hours which you are getting in the exam hall and the time which you have till tomorrow, maybe the next 24 hours which you have. Study properly, study thoroughly, and make sure that if you concentrate this much, I mean the topics which I am telling, the most important topics which I am telling, if you concentrate these topics also, no, I am sure that 60 is not a small number. Trust me, 60 to easily you will get if you have already studied, and now if you concentrate on these topics properly. Okay, because from next year onwards, income tax 50 marks, whatever you have studied right now will change, and 50% of your syllabus is changed. Trust me, it is very hard to study again. Now, sir, what are the important topics, sir? What I have understood is there are some topics which examiners are asking on repeated basis. What are those topics? The topic of total income. Now, total income question under income tax will be the first question which will come for 15 marks, which will have 8 marks with respect to which will contain 8 marks from your PGBP topic, and remaining 7 marks will be from other topics. Other topics such as it can have provisions with respect to other heads, it can have provisions with respect to deductions, it can have provisions with respect to set off, clubbing, and they can also ask you to do the computation of tax. So 15 marks will be covered from here. Okay, so if you want to answer this total income question thoroughly, what is the prerequisite for this question, sir? The first 15 marks question, you have to know all the heads of income. Once you know the heads of income, after that you should be thorough with clubbing provisions, set off carry forward provision, and your deduction provision. Once you do all these things, no, you will be able to find the total income properly. Only if you are thorough with all this topic, you will be able to find the total income properly. So this 15 marks question, you may feel that it is a question from total income chapter, but it covers all these different topics. Okay, so make sure that I mean if you're in this total income question, 8 marks will come from PGBP and other topics such as whatever I have listed down. Then, sir, which is the next topic? I'll go the series of the institute material wise. Residential status, scope of total income, 100% question comes every attempt from last so many years. 100% there is a question which is coming, and that question is for 6 marks. Compulsorily there will be a question for 5 to 6 marks. Okay, from residential status and scope of total income, because this is a topic which they are not going to ask you in the final level. And if this is a topic which is there, then if they have to, if it is a topic under income tax law which is not going to be asked in final level, then where will they test you with this topic? They are going to test you at intermediate. So compulsory there is a question which is going to come on from this topic called as residential status and scope of total income. Very easy chapter, 6 mark question. Then income from salary, compulsory question will come. 7. Of late they are asking question for 7 marks, but normally 7 to 8 mark question will come from this topic. Okay, so 6 marks from residential status, then 8 marks from your income from salary. Then there will be a question from income from host property. This time I'm expecting it to be around 2 to 4 marks. Normally also it will be of same range, but this time I'm expecting it around 2 to 4 marks. Last time they had asked a question on MCQ which was almost for 4, plus there was one point in total income. So same thing I'm expecting now also, 2 to 4 marks maximum they are going to ask. Now what you can concentrate in this subject in this topic is say there is a section called a section 24A which is with respect to because normally 4 mark questions 4 mark question comes from that topic only, which ask you which is asking you to find what taxability in case of if you are receiving an say disputed rent which was there, or if you are receiving the actual rent is rent received plus rent receivable minus unrealized rent. So if you are receiving this unrealized rent, then how do you tax it? So that question can come. Then PGBP 4 marks meaning apart from what is covered over here, extra 4 marks questions right away from that PGBP topic can come with respect to any sections. Now section 35D is there is an amendment. There is an amendment in section 44 AB. There is a amendment in section 44 ADA. So those topics are a little important. So presumptive taxation and the topic of section 35D, 35AD, 35 section 35, which is scientific research. Income from capital gain. This attempt, I am not expecting a major question. I personally, I am not expecting a major question from income from capital gain. Sir, why is that so, sir? Because this chapter has completely amended. So this chapter has completely got changed, and complete computation part also has changed in this chapter. So if they are going to ask a question, that will be in the next attempt, because even if you study this chapter, what you are going to put in the exam hall, no, that will make no sense. But if you want to if you are studying this chapter, study your RTP, whatever questions are there in the RTP, that will be sufficient. Then other sources, income from other sources, 2 to 4 marks questions will be asked. Then clubbing, set off and deductions, 4 marks questions will be asked. Now in deduction, there is a beautiful amendment. So with respect to LIC policies, correct, you please, and there is no question asked on that topic in the last 2 attempts. There was an amendment which was applicable from 1st of April 2023, whatever policies were issued, but there is no question which has been asked on that topic. So make sure that you concentrate, and there is very good example which is given by our institute only. So if you do that also thoroughly, then that will make sense. Advanced tax, TDS, TCS, 4 to 6 marks compulsory question will come from this topic also, and return of income 2 to 4 marks question will come. Now you can expect a question on advanced tax, because they have not asked any question on advanced tax. TCS, if you want, you can ignore, and TDS is something you cannot ignore. Okay, return of income theory question may come, or they may ask you to find the penalty or interest in case of delay in filing of returns. Now, sir, okay, sir, this covers all the topics, but what is something which I should not miss at all? Residential status compulsory should do. Salary compulsory should do. PGBP compulsory should do. Advanced tax, TDS, TCS, clubbing, set off, carry forward and deductions. If you do these topics thoroughly, trust me, 40 marks is something which you can easily get. I'm talking about both MCQs and the practical theory questions, or questions, descriptive questions which they are going to ask you. 40 marks is something which you are going to easily get. 35 to 40 marks is something which you are going to get easily from these topics. Now let me talk about GST. Now what is important in GST, sir? Now first, this is the summary of how marking system works in GST and what I am expecting in this attempt. Okay, in this attempt, introduction topic which is there, around 2 marks, or if they ask a theory question from introduction topic, 4 marks question can be asked. Then supply compulsory, there will be a question of 5 marks. Last attempt there was a question for 10 marks. They were lucky guys, but every attempt there is compulsory a question of 5 marks. So 5 marks question will come from here. Charge under GST. Charge under GST is your section 9. So section 9 also I am expecting 5 mark question, because there is some amendments in section 9.3, that is RCM topic. Composition scheme, because it was already asked for 5 marks in the previous attempt. This attempt, if they ask, maybe they can ask you for 2 marks. Exemptions, 2 to 4 marks. Every attempt they are asking questions from this topic. So same thing you can expect. Just read it like a newspaper. You don't have to buy at anything. Wherever there is limit, make sure that you do those questions thoroughly. I mean, those provisions you should know thoroughly. For example, there is a limit of 7,500 for Resident Welfare Association, 1.5 lakhs for say if you are an artist, 1.5 lakh limit is there, etc. So those things, wherever the limit is there, for if you are a say temple or any charitable institution or religious trust, then for you 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees room renting, etc. That limits based questions are there, that you should compulsorily do, because one question normally comes from that part. Then this attempt I am expecting a question from time of supply, because last 2 attempt they have not asked any question on time of supply. This attempt very easy chapter, very easy chapter, time of supply topic. Please make sure you do this. Then value of supply, every attempt they are asking question. And May attempt they had asked almost maybe I think around 8 mark question. Normally 4 to 5 mark question will be asked from this topic. So around 4 to 5 marks you can expect from this topic as well. Then place of supply, newly added topic, most important topic from last 2 attempts. From the time it is introduced, every attempt they are asking question for 5 marks, and compulsory they are going to ask you for your attempt also. Meaning this chapter, like the chapter of supply, the chapter of place of supply, chapter of ITC, chapter of registration, they are something on which questions will 100% come, irrespective of what type of attempt you are giving. Then tax invoice, debit note, credit note, and e-way bill. 100% a theory question will come from this topic. Please do this topic, because this topic is one of the easiest topic, and there are only some points with respect to which they are going to ask questions, and you should make sure that you do those questions thoroughly. There is a new topic called as accounts and records, which was recently introduced. About this, they have already asked questions in May attempt and in September attempt, and in September attempt they have asked 8-mark question. So if you ignore this topic also, no problem. Instead of that, do this tax invoice, debit note, credit note, and e-way bill topic. 100% one theory question will come for 4 to 5 marks. Then TDS, TCS, they have already tested the knowledge. In May attempt they tested with TCS, and in September attempt they tested with TDS. So this attempt, if they want to test, they will test you maybe in MCQ for 2 marks. Then returns chapter, around 5 marks question can come, because they have not asked any full-fledged question from this chapter during the recent time. Okay, now what are the topics which I should not miss at all under GST for my studies? What are the topics which I should not miss at all under GST, sir? The topics of supply under GST, compulsory 5 marks question. RCM topic, there is beautiful amendments which are there in RCM. The list of services which are taxable under reverse charge, beautiful amendments are there. Please do all those amendments, and also concentrate on e-commerce operator, section 9 subsection 5. Okay, then time of supply topic. Now you have been asking some questions. I'll take up these questions, but just give me let me just complete my discussion, and I'll go through whatever chats you are putting in the chat box. Then time of supply, because there was no question in last 2 attempt. Value of supply, because they ask in every attempt. Place of supply, 100% they'll ask question. And ITC, input tax credit and payment of tax. So input tax credit is your input tax credit chapter from section 16, 17 and 18. 18 you can ignore, because they have asked a question 18. In 18, don't ignore completely, do 18.6, section 18 subsection 6. I'll come to that part later when maybe I'm at the end when I'm discussing about all the chapters individually. So ITC and payment of tax. Payment of tax, what is important, sir? Section 49 subsection 5. Registration, compulsory they'll ask a question every attempt they are asking. And returns, this attempt it is important. Tax invoice, debit note, credit note, and e-way bill. These are the chapters which you should not miss at all. So under income tax, there are around 4 to 5 topics which are something which you should not miss at all. And under GST, there are these topics which are most important. Meaning whether you do other topics or not, this is something which you should be knowing thoroughly. And I hope you'll already be knowing about this. Now, what is important? What are the important points or tips which I should take care during the examination time or during the examination, etc. Now, first and foremost things, okay, whenever the question paper is given to you, you have to first I should have started with, I think, this point. Okay, before how to write the examination, first you please make sure that you be prepared. You should be ready with respect to tax paper. You should be ready that this paper is going to be very lengthy. You ask any of your seniors, any person who has written the tax paper, every person will tell one common thing. What is that common thing, sir? Sir, this tax paper is very lengthy, sir. This paper was very, very lengthy, sir. This tax paper is very lengthy. Yes, the tax paper will be very lengthy. Normally, on an average student attempt from 80 to 90 marks. 80 to 90 marks is what maximum student has attempted because of its lengthiness. Because there is a lot of linkage, etc. Okay, so you should be prepared with that. So you should not feel afraid that, oh my God, so this paper is very lengthy. It is lengthy for entire India. So you should be prepared with this particular part. Then please reach the exam hall at least by 1:30. I know, sir, they will give the question paper at 1:45 and the examination starts at 2 o'clock. Sir, why are you asking us to reach half an hour before, sir? You just reach and see, I'll tell you, many students, as a student, when I was a student, I remember that even I had this practice that till 1:45, they used to give us also that 15 minutes extra to study. So till 1:45, no, we used to go to exam hall, and outside the exam hall, we used to read those extra things. And trust me, in this 15 minutes, no, nothing great you are going to achieve. Okay, in this 15 minutes, you're not going to study something which you have not studied for last 6 months. Trust me, that is not going to happen. So, but I know as a student, our psychology works in that manner only, that this last thing let me read, this last point let me revise. But yeah, you have already studied everything. Trust yourself, you have already studied everything. Everything is in your mind somewhere. Okay, so that 15 minutes I'm asking you to reach early. So just sit, relax, and just feel that atmosphere, that yes, I am sitting in my that exam hall. You just treat you just convince yourself that yes, I know everything, I know all the provisions, the question paper is going to be very easy, and I am going to attempt all the questions beautifully. I am going to get the maximum marks in this paper only. You just tell yourself around say 15 to 20 times before your examination starts in this 15 minutes time. Trust me, it is going to do miracles. It is going to do miracles. Seriously, I'm telling. Then compulsorily sit in the exam hall till 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock meaning last time, I mean, you have examination from 2 to 5. So compulsorily you should sit in the exam hall till 5 o'clock, irrespective of whether you are getting married today. Even if it is your marriage, no problem. Ignore that. For the time being, ignore that. You should, whenever you have an exam on that day, compulsorily you should sit till what time, sir? Till 5 o'clock. Irrespective of whether something is happening, some girl is coming to see you at your house, etc. It does not matter. You sitting in the exam hall till 5 o'clock, even if you don't know anything, you should sit. Even if you don't know anything, just sit. Just read the question paper again and again. Something at least will come to your mind. Something at least will click. Then, do not write wrong sections. Now, tell me, in your life, never you have studied taxation. So this is the first time you are going to write some tax exam, meaning tax paper exam, unless until you are a BCom graduate or you have done your graduation. So you have never learned taxation in any of your previous education line. For example, in your PUC or maybe in your school days, etc. You have not learned about taxation till now. So this is the first time you are going to give tax exam. So institute is not going to check your knowledge on the section number. Institute is going to check whether you are conceptually clear on any topic or not, whether your concepts are perfectly clear or not, whether you understand the tax law or not. So normally this is what I said to my students. It is better not to write a section unless until you know the section properly. So during the class times, I give the list of important sections, that these sections you should be knowing for sure. But if you don't know any sections also, no problem, don't write it, just write the provisions. Say as per the provisions of Income Tax Act, or as per the provisions of Income Tax Law. For GST, as per the provisions of CGST Act 2017. And if it is a topic, if it is a question on place of supply, as per the provisions given in IGST Act 2017. So if you write this much, it is sufficient. But if you know the section number, compulsorily you should write. If you know the proper section number, you should definitely write. That is an added advantage. But never write the wrong section. Then compulsory write the provision for each and every adjustment you have made. So normally what happens is, how the marking of the tax paper works is, like for example, there is a 15 marks question on income tax, the first compulsory question, correct? Now there will be around say 8 to 10 adjustment will be there. For each of this adjustment, they will give you half mark for each of the adjustment. So for example, they have given the net profit, and they have given that there is an for relative you have paid some extra money, so that whatever extra amount you have paid, that is required to be subtracted by you, or that is required to be added back to the profit by you. Now you have done this addition correct. Okay, you have written this adjustment correct over here. For this adjustment, compulsorily you should write a note. You should write a note as per section 40A2. Any unreasonable payment made to related person is disallowed. You should compulsory. That is compulsory. Okay, unless until you write a note, that adjustment makes no sense for the examiner. For every adjustment, you should write a note. Now you should have seen institute material, say suggested answers which are there. Now if you see, how do they answers in suggested answers, sir? Like say for example, the total income of this person. Now say this is net profit, add expenses, etc. Now see, commission paid to brother. So this is the adjustment which I am talking about. Okay, commission paid to brother. Now they are writing about this adjustment, note about this adjustment over here only. So you just write, so commission paid to brother, or salary paid to brother, excess salary paid to brother, and don't write in the same line, write in the next line that as per 40A2, any excess paid, any unreasonable or excessive payment made to related person is disallowed. Just write in a simple and sweet language as you have studied that. Okay, you don't have to use actual legal wordings which are there. Compulsory provision for each and every adjustment you should make. Each and every adjustment, anything which you are adding, anything which you are subtracting, anything which you are not doing anything. If they have given an adjustment in the question, that means there should be a note with respect to that adjustment. Compulsorily. Must do all the questions from last 3 RTPs. 100%. This is something which you should. I mean, whether you are doing other things or not, this is something which you should 100% do. Last 3 RTPs, because these RTPs will become irrelevant from this attempt. After this examination which you are having tomorrow, this RTPs will be irrelevant, except maybe the GST part RTP, indirect taxes part RTP, which can be used for further examinations also. But this RTPs will be of no use when it comes to income tax law. It is of completely no use because the previous year and assessment year will change, and the answering format also will change. So compulsorily you should do all the 3 RTPs. Just go through the questions, try to solve the questions if you have time, because one question is directly going to come from this RTP. Similar kind of question is going to directly come from the RTP, and it has happened in the previous examination. I'm not just saying out of blue. It has happened that in the last attempt which is there, normally they will lift a question from the RTP and they'll give. Check for recent amendments. Because these which were not asked in the examination. It is not that all the amendments you are required to know thoroughly. Whatever amendments were not asked in the examination in the previous 2 attempts, that is in May attempt and in September attempt, those amendments which were not asked, like I told you, there was an amendment made with respect to section 80C on the topic of LIC. They have not asked any question on that particular topic. So this is the best time for them to ask a question on that particular topic. Okay. Yeah. Now, important tips to how to write the examination. So this was some important points you should be knowing. Now start with MCQs. Whenever you are as soon as you get the question paper, ignore your descriptive part. So you have section number 1, which is with respect to this MCQs, and section 2, which will be your practical and descriptive question. Ignore what is given in descriptive question for first 15 minutes. Okay. I mean, if you are able to do it before that also, very good. First, say you take around, say 5 to 10 minutes or 7.5 minutes, I'll give 7.5 minutes. You completely read all the MCQ questions. Completely read all the MCQ questions. You should be knowing, because that is what you're supposed to start first in the exam. Okay. Because once, if you are able to complete all the MCQs in 30 to 40 minutes, that is going to boost your confidence like anything. Trust me, that your confidence level will go to the next level. Because if in the first 30 to 40 minutes, if you are able to do all the MCQs, that means 30 marks is something which you are for sure of getting. For sure you are going to get 30 marks from whatever you have written. So that is going to boost your confidence like anything. So this is one very big advantage you will be having during that 15 minutes time. Study the MCQ parts thoroughly. At that time, you just see whether there are any questions which you are not, for which you don't have any answer, or which you will not be able to answer. Ignore, I mean, you should mark at that time. During that time, you should make sure that you understand the question and write the answer. And how should I read the MCQ question? Start reading the question before the case study, because it will be case study based question. First read the question. Just read the question. Say there is one question telling you, please compute the total income. You please compute the what is consignment value. So there will be some 2-3 questions which will be given. So first read this question and then go for reading the case study. Because after reading the questions, if you read the case study, you will be concentrating only on those points which is relevant for this question. You can see my previous attempt, say question paper analysis. You can just watch first 10 to 15 minutes, wherein I have told you the reason why you should start like that. Okay. Yeah. So MCQ parts, read the question thoroughly, answer all the MCQs, because there is no negative marking. So you should compulsory answer all the MCQs. If you are stuck somewhere, please ignore that point and go to the next point. Okay. But make sure that you answer all the MCQs. Now, after completing MCQs, after completing, you please follow this format. Trust me, it is going to help you a lot. And I'm telling this because this is what I have suggested lot of students, and this is what those students have implemented, and they have got exemptions, they have got ranks, and they have got great marks in this tax paper. Now, so first start with MCQ. 30 to 40 minutes you should be able to complete MCQ. Maximum you should give is 45 minutes for MCQ, not more than that. Okay, 45 minutes for 30 marks. Then start with your GST questions. Don't see what is there under income tax law. Income tax and GST are two different things. You all will be knowing income tax is something which is more practical oriented. Correct? There are a lot of provisions which you have to study in income tax law, but when it comes to GST, it is relatively easy. When compared to income tax, GST is relatively easy. Correct? So start with your GST. Start with your GST because the questions of GST will be normally straightforward. And GST is a completely new law. Just hardly around, say, maybe 7 years has passed away from the time GST has come into existence. But whereas income tax law is almost 50-year-old. So the questions of GST will be relatively very easy and very straightforward. So start with GST. And one more beauty of GST is that there is not many topics are linked to each other. Like under income tax law, if you are studying PGBP, there will be some linkage with TDS, there will be some linkage with ATC, ATD or set off carry forward, etc. There will be linkage involved. But in case of GST, there is no linkage at all. Now, the supply topic is not linked to your input tax credit topic. Maybe this composition scheme topic is not linked to anyone else at all. Correct? So that linkage is not there. So that is one advantage. And 8 to 12 marks question. 8 to 12 marks question. I'm emphasizing on this word. 8 to 12 marks question directly will be a theory question. Will be direct theory question. So question number 7 and question number 8, which is there in your question paper, no, straight away direct theory question will be there, and every attempt they are asking. Every attempt they are asking. These theory questions will be from which topic, sir? It will be from the first chapter, that is your basics. It will be from your supply chapter. It will be from your tax invoice, debit note, credit note chapter, or it will be from returns chapter, etc. Direct theory question they'll ask. They'll tell you what are the situations when credit note is not required to be issued. What is the procedure which is required to be followed in case of delivery challan? What are the contents of consignment note? So direct theory question will be asked. Direct theory question. So make sure that you study those theoretical topics thoroughly. 8 to 12 marks direct theory question, and trust me, this 8 to 12 marks, whatever theory question they are going to ask you, know, this is not even going to take your maybe 15 minutes to answer. Not even 15 minutes you will be able to complete all the questions when compared to other practical questions, because there will be linkage of provision. First point, you should make reference to the last point also. You should see whether there is any linkage, etc. Now, once you complete your MCQ and GST part completely, then only go to income tax. Then only go to income tax. And when you are doing income tax, first do those questions which you know thoroughly. For example, residential status, they'll 100% ask. Then salary, they're 100% ask. Do these questions first, because these are, I mean, relatively easy topic. As a teacher, maybe I feel that it is easy, but relatively they are easy topic. So you do these questions first, because this is something they are going to ask compulsorily. Once you have done this, then see the other other questions which you are most comfortable with, and then start with your compulsory question. And maybe it may happen that you are comfortable with the compulsory question also. So you can, if you are confident with that question, you can go with that question also. But please don't start with compulsory question. Don't start with compulsory question. Okay. Now, I think, yes, I have covered whatever important points I had to tell about this examination. What are the important topics which you are supposed to study, that I have covered over here. Now, I'll take up any questions if you have. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, I may take around next maybe 30-40 minutes to just go through all the chapters. So if you have any questions, please ask me. I am available for your questions. Sir, you have done marathon class now, sir. In that, amendments are covered or not? Please tell me. Marathon classes, now I don't know which marathon you are talking about, but yeah, in marathon classes, if you have watched the recent marathon classes, not only me, I mean, even Vikas sir would have done marathon classes, or he has also taken the amendments topic separately. Is it live, sir? Yes, it is live. It is live. It is live. Mukesh, it is live. I can see you and your question. So, so you can watch those amendment videos also. If you have not watched. Sir, any tip to remember exemption chapters in GST? You just study it as a question paper. So in exemption, just remember your notification number. Notification number 66 bar, sorry, notification number 13 bar 2017 gives you the list of exemption. So whenever there is a point which is exempt, you just write this point is say for example, healthcare services given by clinical establishment is exempt as per notification number 13 bar 2017. You don't have to remember the entry numbers. And just read it as a newspaper, because whatever answer you are going to give with respect to that exemption chapter will always be right. And as I told you, those places where numbers are involved, you should take care of them. Sir, which are the important deductions under income tax? I'll just cover those things. Deductions and all I'll cover. I'll cover those things. I'll just go through entire material and then I'll cover those things. Then Nandana. But make sure you cover these topics for sure, okay? These topics under GST law, you can take a screenshot of this. And these topics under income tax law, because almost your 70 to 80 marks will come from this. 70 to 80 marks. Your question paper will on an average be for 120 marks. Out of that, 80 marks is from these topics only. Hi Ananya, how are you? Sundari. Sir, RTP for Jan 25 RFA population above 40 lakhs, ICA has considered 15% and 10%. But why? Because why has ICA done like that? Because the amendment which happened during the middle of the year. Maybe I think on 31st of July or 28th of July, the amendment happened. So before amendment, it was 15%. After amendment, it is 10%. Abhishek Ramarao. And Abhishek, with respect to this, you can ignore this point because they have already asked a question in the last attempt. In last attempt, there is already a question which has come on this point exactly. This amendment, they have already asked a question. Okay, anyways, you can ask your questions. Meanwhile, I'll just go through the syllabus. I'll start with GST because it will be completed in relatively less number of time. So you have all these different chapters under GST law, introduction, supply charge, etc. I'll not waste time in on those to discuss these points with you guys. Now let me straight away go and discuss what is important. Now, in your first chapter, which is your basics chapter, what are the important points I should be knowing, sir? Now, you just, sir, should we consider 2% or 10%, sir? You could, no, it depends, Abhishek. So you should see the question. You should see the question. So from when the rent-free accommodation is given. If the rent-free accommodation is given from 1st of April, then you should consider 15% for before July. I'm not exactly, I don't exactly know the actual date, but yeah, it was in the middle of the year. I mean, somewhere in the middle of the year, maybe in July month or June month. And after that, you should consider 10%. Now, in first chapter, basics chapter, what is important, sir? Basics chapter, what is important? Basic chapter, I'll tell you what is important point only directly. Now you can, I mean, this deficiencies of existing indirect tax laws, or what was the need of GST in India. So this is one question about which they ask in the examination. What are the taxes which got subsumed with GST? Then what are the advantages of GST? Then very important is common portal, GST common portal. You should be knowing about this. And very, very important, most important in your first chapter is Article 279A, which is with respect to GST Council. Already they had asked a theory question for 3 marks in the previous attempt. But yeah, this is something which is very, very important. This topic, like what are the recommendations it can make, or what is the quorum of the meeting, MCQ points. Then how is the decision taken by GST Council. So all these points are important. Then in your supply chapter, what is important, sir? In your supply chapter, I mean, this entire chapter as a whole is important. But apart from that, in this chapter, there are a lot of, if you see your institute material, there are a lot of circulars which are issued, and institute has a practice of asking questions from those circulars. But if sir, this chapter as a whole is completely important. This is something which you should not miss. One topic which is important is section 8, because there is no question in last two attempts. Section 8 talks about taxability of composite supply and mixed supply. You should know the meaning of composite supply, mixed supply, and you should know that composite supply is taxed at the rate of principal supply and mixed supply is taxed at highest rate. This chapter as a whole is important. You should be knowing the definition of goods, services, consideration, recipient. About importation of service, they have already asked a question in previous examination. Yeah, you should be knowing section 7, subsection 1, clause C, read with schedule number 1, which are the activities which will be treated as supply even if it is without consideration, also called as schedule 1 activities or deemed supply. Then you should be knowing schedule number 2, schedule number 3, activities which are not treated as supply at all. There are totally 6 activities for your intermediate level which they have given. Here there is an amendment about which they have not asked any question. Then comes your section 8, very important, because there was no question in the last 2 attempts, very important. Then charge under GST. What is important under charge under GST, sir? Section 9 subsection 3, reverse charge is very important, and section 9 subsection 5, important. There is also an amendment on this topic with respect to transportation of passenger. In transportation of passenger, if it is through omnibus, then RCM is applicable only if it is through a company. So that is one important amendment which is there. So yeah, this section 9 subsection 5, very, very important. And section 9 subsection 3, RCM point. What are the important RCM points, sir? Most important is your director RCM, because there is an amendment in this, and they have asked question for final level but not for intermediate level. And there is also amendment in government related sector. Apart from that, you should be knowing GTA services, legal services, sponsorship services, then government related services, and services of renting of residential dwelling, newly added services. No question has been asked yet. Then director related services, there is an amendment telling that if the director is giving in his personal capacity is not taxable under reverse charge. Then your security services and renting of motor vehicle services. These are something which are important. There is explanation given in this page. Now this is very important because they have not asked any question even after there was an amendment over here, which is with respect to renting of residential dwelling to a registered person. So there is some chart which I have prepared. And director related service also very, very important. So if the director is an employee director giving the services in personal capacity, not taxable under reverse charge, in the capacity of director, TDS under 194J, RCM will come. TDS under 192, no RCM because it is salary. And if you are a non-employee director, then any services given as a director is always taxable under reverse charge. Any services given in personal capacity will be exempt. Very beautiful, very important. Composition scheme, because they had already asked a question in the previous examination. MCQ question may come, and or a question on aggregate turnover may come. Aggregate turnover, very important. You should know the definition along with section number, section 2 subsection 6. Aggregate turnover means what, sir? About aggregate turnover there may be a question which you may get, or about this proviso, etc. 10.3, 10.4, about rules and what is the return which is used, what is the due date of filing return by a composition dealer, and how do they make the payment, and what is the due date of making payment. Then time of supply, important chapter, completely important chapter, because last two attempt they have not asked anything. You should be knowing what is the time limit to issue invoice for goods as well as services, and then your time of supply topic. Then after time of supply, we have value of supply. Yeah, very simple chapter. Only 3 sections are there, section 15.1, 15.2 and 15.3. If you know these 3 sections, this chapter is very easy. Lucky were those students who wrote examination in the previous attempt, because almost 8 mark question was asked from this chapter, which is very, very, very good. Now place of supply, most important chapter, 5 marks question will come from this chapter. Now we cannot say from which topic, sir, but yeah, question will definitely come, and very easy it is. You have section 10, you have section 12, very, very easy. One of the easiest chapter. I personally love this chapter. This chapter, ITC chapter, I love all the chapters basically. Then input tax credit, there is an amendment with respect to conditions. there is an amendment with respect to last day to taking input tax credit, section 16 subsection 4. So there is amendment with respect to conditions and section 16 subsection 4. You should make sure that you know that. And also please remember rule number 37. What is rule number 37, sir? Now you are normally supposed to make the payment within 180 days. If you don't make the payment within 180 days, ITC will be reversed. Now what if there is a part payment made in the middle of the year? I mean, with during that 180 days period, even for that amount, is ITC going to be reversed? Answer is no. So there is some amendment which has been made, and this is very, very important. Some practical question also have solved over here, but you can just go through later. There is a new section added in section 16, which is section 16 subsection 6. I mean, which you can, just go through, but it's not that important. Section 17 is very important because it contains what are the different items on which ITC cannot be taken, block credit. And section 18, because there was already a question asked in the previous examination, in section 18 you concentrate on section 18 subsection 6, section 18 subsection 3 and section 18 subsection 6. 18.6 is important. Section 49.5, very important, manner of taking input tax credit. And yeah, theory question can come on this section 86, rule 86A, rule 86B, which rule 86A talks about restriction of utilization of input tax credit, and rule 86B talks about restriction for use of amount available in electronic credit ledger. So theory question can come from these topics. And under payment of tax chapter, what is important, sir? Important is form numbers. Under registration chapter, payment of tax chapter and composition scheme, you should be knowing the form numbers. Now here, what is the order of discharge of liability? Important. And your electronic liability register can be debited by what amount? This theory questions can be asked. These are the two theory questions which they have asked in the previous case also, and they can ask. With respect to interest liability, already a question was asked in the May examination, but yeah, this is also something which you should be knowing. Already a question has been asked on that. Then exemption as a whole, I told you that exemption, remember the notification number. Okay, exemption notification number is 12/2017, not 13/2017, and 13/2017 is for services taxable under reverse charge. Like I told you, limit based exemptions which are there, these are limit based exemptions. This becomes very important in the examination. Exemptions I'll ignore. After exemptions we have registration chapter. Registration chapter as a whole is important. Registration chapter section 22(1) is important with this notification number, and section 24, there is one newly added point with respect to if you are a person supplying services from outside India, then you should compulsory take a registration in India. So that point is something which is newly added. Then procedure for registration. Okay, here there is an amendment in which topic, sir? Section 27, very important. Effective date of registration, important. Section 27, most important. They have not asked any question in last two attempts, and this is a topic about which they normally ask a question. So please remember this topic, most important. Extension of validity, which is with respect to registration for casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person. Amendment, not that important. This cancellation and suspension, important. And section 30, most important, because there is an amendment. MCQ based question can come. Just one single line section, please. Sir, this is fine. You talk about tax invoice, debit note, credit note. Tax invoice, debit note, credit note, very, very easy chapter. Tax invoice, you know when is tax invoice required to be issued, what are the contents of tax invoice. Theory question can be asked. Then rules with respect to HSN code. When is tax invoice not required to be issued? E-invoicing provision, compulsory you should be knowing. What are the situations or cases when e-invoice is not required to be issued? So important topic. Then when is revised tax invoice, in only one line section provision it is. When is bill of supply issued, receipt voucher, debit voucher, etc. Then delivery challan, very, very, very important. Delivery challan. What is important in delivery challan, sir? In delivery challan, this is important, very important. goods transported in semi-knockdown condition, completely knockdown condition, or in batches or lot. What is the procedure to follow when the goods are supplied in semi-knockdown, completely knockdown? These are something which are there in your material only, your own institute material. So this is important. And what are the contents of consignment note? That is also important in case of a GTA. What are the situations when debit note will be issued and credit note will be issued? Another theory question. And please note, theory question will come from this chapter or your e-way bill chapter. Accounts and records you can ignore because already there was a question asked in the previous 2 attempts, and last attempt they asked a question for 8 marks. It is just two pages chapter. Here, if you want to study something, you study section 36. What is the time limit till which you are required to maintain your books of accounts? Your books of accounts are required to be retained till what time? Section 36. You are supposed to remember this, because about this they have not asked any question. E-way bill, important. E-way bill, last attempt they had asked a MCQ question on consignment value. But then what are the situations when you will be blocked from generation of e-way bill? What are the cases when e-way bill is not required to be issued? What are the documents are required to be carried by person in charge, etc.? These questions can be asked. Returns also they have not asked any question in the previous attempt, so this attempt becomes little important. MCQ based questions definitely was asked. Okay, so this completes, I think, this GST part. After returns you have late fee for filing returns, you have TDS, TCS. Already have asked good amount of questions, but yeah, MCQ based questions can come. What is the form which is used? What is the rate of TDS and TCS? Now let us now jump to what's our income tax. Now under income tax, what is important, sir? First chapter is your tax rates, etc. 115 BAC, important. Normally I'll just go through from this second chapter. Please note, this I'm not following as per your institute material. This I'm following as per how I teach in the classroom. Okay, so I don't follow your institute material while teaching in the classroom, so you don't have to worry. So first chapter in my teaching comes is your house property chapter. In your house property, as I told you, you should remember section 25A, types of house property. Remember section. Just a second, sorry. Meanwhile, anyone has any question, you can please ask me. Just a second, some technical issue has happened. Now, interest related question they have already asked in the previous examination from house property, so they will not ask any interest related question. So they may ask a question on say joint pre-construction period interest. Also you can ignore, already asked in the last attempt. Concept of vacancy, yes, this is something they can test you. Then what if it is partly let out property, partly let out area wise or time wise? Then co-ownership, joint ownership, it is easy. I mean, then if there are more than one self-occupied property, in last 2-3 attempts I have not asked a question, but it is a very simple question. If they are asking this, you are the luckiest person. Section 25A, taxability of arrears of rent and unrealized rent. And theory topic in this chapter is your deemed owner concept, the concept of deemed owner. Then comes your capital gain chapter. Capital gain chapter about your exemptions. Please see, because there is an amendment in exemptions topic, that is section 54 and 54F. They have increased the limit from 1 crore to 10 crores. So about that you can concentrate and do the 3 RTPs. Take the 3 RTPs, see whatever question is there with respect to capital gain, do those questions. Because capital gain, this chapter is completely changed now. And definitely they are going to ask question in your next attempt, which you are going to, I mean, for your juniors who are going to write the next attempt. After this, we have income from other sources. Income from other sources, yes. Taxation of gift is something which is important. And taxation of gift and your deemed dividend, taxation of dividend, the deemed dividend concept. Very simple chapter this is. 4 marks can be expected from this chapter. Income from salary as a whole, it is very important chapter. This is something which you should be knowing completely. This attempt, they may not ask a question on perquisites. They may test you on what, sir? They may test you on normal salary. Now these are the components of salary. They may test you on this gratuity and allowances. Okay, they may not test you on what is this provident fund, what is this perquisites, etc. But they may test you on these topics, which is your retirement benefit and allowances. And obviously, this is something which is already important. And we should all be knowing that standard deduction is available whether you are opting for 115 BSc or you are not opting for 115 BSc. Both of them will get standard deduction. Then after salary, we have PGBP. PGBP. I'm not taking maximum time, okay? Because I don't want to waste your time. Under PGBP, what do I have, sir? Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can definitely ask me. Under PGBP, yes, depreciation adjustment, they will ask, because every attempt they are asking that. Section 35 is important. You should be knowing that additional depreciation will be given only if you are what, sir? Additional depreciation will be given if you are power sector or manufacturing sector. They have already tested in the previous attempt. Then actual cost, okay, you can ignore all this. They are all little theoretical. Unabsorbed depreciation. 43A, change in foreign currency rate. Scientific research, important, because they had not asked question. Section 35 AD also is important. 35 AD is your specified business. And all this direction, who will not get, sir? If you are a person who has opted for 115 BSc, you will not get these deductions. Preliminary expenses, there is one small amendment with respect to audit point. So audit report is required to upload. Auditor is required to upload some report before 1 month before filing income tax return. Section 36, Section 36(1), bonus commission, interest, then employer's contribution and employees' contribution and bad debts are important point. These are something which are very important. Then Section 40A, Section 40 Chota A and 37 is general deduction. 43B, very important. 43B talks about what, sir? What are the expenses which are allowed on payment basis? Now here there was one amendment which was made with respect to that MSME, micro and small enterprises. They had made an amendment about which they had already asked a question for 4 marks in the last attempt. Okay, so micro and small enterprises, but still this again this okay. Then 40B, they have not tested this provision in last 2 attempts or an attempt before that. So 40B, remuneration and interest for partners in case of partnership firm, important. Then expenses specifically disallowed, Section 40A1 and 40A1A plus 40A3, important. Then your 40A capital A2 and 40 capital A3. Capital A2 is your unreasonable payment to related person, and 40A3 is excess amount paid in excess of 10,000 rupees and 35,000 in case of what is this, sir? Transporter. How to solve PGB question, stories and all is there. Yeah. And presumptive taxation, important. All the 3 presumptive taxation, there was no question asked in the previous attempts. So this is something which is important. You can expect a question on presumptive taxation. 44A is something which they ask normally. Then comes your clubbing of income, very small chapter. Husband, wife, and your transfer to daughter-in-law, they are important section. And what will happen when the amount is transferred to spouse and that is invested in the business? That question, these questions are very important questions, very beautiful questions. Please solve those questions. And yeah, even in case where spouse has substantial interest in any concern, and if that is paying money to the spouse. Minor child, yeah, and minor child, they will get also that benefit of 1500. Then your set of carry forward chapter, very simple and easy chapter. You should know this chapter thoroughly. I mean, about this, I'll not say what is required to be studied because this is an easy chapter. 8 marks question had already come in one of the attempt. Sir, are these notes available on ArivuPro website? Now, please note, I mean, I don't mind sharing this note, or I don't mind asking the team to put these notes, but studying from these notes now makes no sense. Whatever notes you have already made, you study from that only. You please study from that only. Now, someone had asked me, sir, what are the important sections in deductions? 80C, 80CCD, 80D, 80E, 80G, 80G, and then you have this section. Which section, sir? 80JJAA, QQB, RRB, 80U, 80TTA. Most important is the first section, 80C, DE, G, TTA, JJAA, 80U. And then 80CCD is also important. 80C I feel is important because there is an amendment on LIC provision. Now please note, LIC money which you receive upon death is always exempt, irrespective of what type of amendment it is. Always it is exempt. Okay. Then now section 10AA. Now please note, in May 23 they had asked a question on which covered topic of 115 BAC, 115 JC and 10AA. Okay, same to same question or similar question can be asked for your examination also. Similar question can be asked for your examination also. There was one 7 marks question asked which covered this 10AA topic, very easy topic, very simple topic, which talks about deduction for export turnover. 115 BAC, 115 BAC is with respect to the newly that is the default tax regime, and 115 JC is alternate minimum tax. So you should be knowing these three provisions because they have not tested in the previous attempt. 10AA compulsory should be knowing. Then 115 JC, this also you should be knowing, which is alternate minimum tax. Very easy. See, these are all one page topics, not even I mean, it will take 15-20 minutes. I was talking about this question which was asked in the examination May 23. So similar question you can expect. This was for an individual, Mr. Bhagat. You can expect a question on LLP or a partnership firm. So this is how you are supposed to solve it, and you are required to compute the tax amount also. 115 BAC, most important. You should be knowing what are the benefits which are forgone, what is the new tax rate. So I have done a simple comparison between the old tax regime and new tax regime. I mean, I'll just ask them if required, I'll ask them to upload this material also for your residential status, important chapter. Agriculture income also, they have not asked any question. On agriculture income, what you should concentrate if you're concentrating is, when you're studying agriculture income, scope of total income. When you're studying agriculture income, no, concentrate on that composite income. Composite income section, rule number 7, which talks about composite income. When we have agriculture and when I have produced something and I'm using that for when I have cultivated something and using that for manufacturing a product. So I'll have agriculture income and business income. So there are very good question in your institute material. Do that, that is sufficient. And also know tea, coffee, rubber. If you're growing and manufacturing, please note, if you're growing and manufacturing tea, coffee, rubber, what is the percentage which will go to business income and what is the percentage which will go to agriculture income. So this is something you should be knowing. And I think if you study this much, which obviously covered the entire syllabus, you will definitely get great marks. Oh, TDS, TCS, exemption I have not taken care of, sir. Oh my god, yes, sweet. Advanced tax, they had not asked any question, so you can expect a question. TDS is something which is important. TCS you can ignore. So TDS, return of income, some theory question if they want to ask, they'll ask, or interest calculation, they'll ask. Then advanced tax. So these points are all these theoretical points only, TDS, etc. And so I'm not covering them again. Then in your first chapter, that is your basics and tax rate chapter, theory question which can be asked is, on which provision, sir? They can ask a theory question on certain cases where previous year income is assessed in previous year itself. What are the different cases when previous year income is assessed in previous year itself? That you can concentrate. And undisclosed income or deemed income. What are the different types of undisclosed income or deemed income? Yeah, so these two theory questions, if they ask, they may ask. Okay, this is all from my side. Now again, I'm open to questions from you. Any person has any type of question, you can ask me. And trust me, you have already studied everything. You just have to go write the examination. Make sure you reach the exam hall before 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes before, and you make your mind very calm over there. Or at that place, no, keeping your mind calm is the most important thing. So I'll wait for maybe 5 minutes or maybe 2 minutes. I'll check if anyone has any question. If no, then let us meet tomorrow evening after your exam. Anyone has any questions? Ding 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 ding. Okay, students. All the very best to you all. Trust me, you are great and you will get great marks. Okay, don't worry. Write examination very calmly, irrespective of how your previous exams were there. Don't think about how you attempted your last examination. Now, please note, in cricket match, no, a person who is batting well, a person who is on the say batting ground, now if he misses the first ball, you miss the second ball, you miss the third ball, so there will be totally 5 balls which will be given to you for you to hit. Okay, don't worry about the first ball which is missed by you. Don't worry about the second ball, third ball, fourth ball, fifth ball which is missed by you. Now there is one last ball which is coming. Okay, now make sure that this last ball which is coming, you hit it so hard that it should go out of the stadium or it should go out of the boundary. So the what you have not covered in all the first 5 balls, no, that can be covered in one single ball if you hit a 6. That ball is this examination. So whatever you have done in last maybe 4 to 5 months or 6 months, etc., it is not going to matter at all. What is going to matter is what you write in the exam hall right now. And please forget what you attempted or how you answered the previous exam questions, etc. I mean, even though we as a teacher, we upload maybe say question paper review and all, or say all these topics, I mean, right after examination, we upload videos. It is not recommended for you guys to watch it. It is uploaded so that we are on par with, see, like for example, as a student, you have your own competition. Just like this, as an institute, we also have our own competition. We should make sure that we are someone who is doing this for our student at the first place. Okay, so that is the reason why we upload it. You should not feel bad telling, okay, because this say I have seen this analysis and my accounts paper went bad, my law paper went bad, my tax paper. No, that is something which you should leave. What is in your hand? Writing the paper, writing in the best possible manner is in your hand. Correcting is not in your hand. And paper like tax or accounts, etc., or wherever say notes are required, no, you should compulsorily give notes. Tax paper, though, unless until you give notes, no, even if your answer is perfectly right, Even if you have given bang on answer, you will not get marks unless until you write why you have given that answer. For each and every adjustment, make sure that you write the reason why you have made that adjustment. If you are adding something, write why. If you are subtracting something, write why. If you are not doing anything, if you are ignoring something, write why. This has been ignored because it does not have any impact. You should write, you should give a reason. Okay, students, thanks a lot. Thank you very, very much for giving your time. I know your time is very precious, and right now it is even more precious. Thanks a lot for attending this live session. I hope you all clear with great marks. Tada, bye bye, take care, enjoy. I'll meet you tomorrow evening after your examination. Bye, students.